Something wonderful happens when you change to Philip Morris. You'll feel better.
Did you say I'll feel better smoking Philip Morris?
Yes, you'll feel better. And here are the reasons why. In case after case, coughs due to smoking disappear. Parched throat clears up. So remember, next time you buy cigarettes, be sure you call for Philip Morris and feel something wonderful happen to you.
I didn't understand when I was growing up what the tobacco companies had done. If you try smoking and you give it up within the first month, you almost never become an addict. So they tried to shorten that time period so they could addict you within 2 weeks or 1 week.
Some of the worst things I've seen the corporations do is how they target youth and young adult smokers. These children that don't know what they're doing at the time, and at 12, 13, 14 years old thought that smoking was the cool thing to do, and they started smoking. And because that they're young, their adolescent minds and brains are still developing, they become even more addicted. And it's much easier to become addicted to this product when you are that young. And so then by the time that they get to 18, 20 years old, they're so addicted that it's very difficult for them to quit.
We were targeting kids, and I said at the time it was unethical and maybe illegal. But I was told it was just company policy. I asked, do you want us to even target junior high school kids? They said younger. They got lips. We want them.
So Cindy Noggle, she was young when she started smoking. I first met her when she was in her 40s. She could barely walk from her house to the car. She needed oxygen 24/7, or she would have suffocated. She had a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease from smoking, and so her lungs had trouble extracting oxygen. 5 minutes with her was scary. Felt like she could die at any minute, and she lived like this for years. It would take her 3 hours to get dressed in the morning and get ready for work and make her bed, but she did. She was a hard worker. We found out she was dying. She needed a lung transplant, and we wanted to get her that lung transplant. We made a low demand, a very low demand, just enough to get her that lung transplant, and Philip Morris said they weren't going to pay 1 penny ever. You have to remember that Cindy didn't start smoking today. She started smoking in a different world. And so the first thing is we have to paint a picture of that world. When judges smoked on the bench, when doctors smoked when they were examining you, when everyone in the office smoked. Smoke filled office buildings, and it was normal. Kids would make ashtrays for their parents at school. Not only did the vast majority of people not understand it was bad for you, but the tobacco companies were hiding that fact. They knew it. And they were targeting young people. They were targeting children. So they knew it was addictive, they knew it was deadly, and they still targeted children. So Cindy was obviously much younger when she started smoking. 100 million people died of smoking in the 20th century. We're on track to lose 1 billion souls from smoking. These corporate killers, these tobacco companies, these global apex corporations, they're borderless, they're lawless. Someone has to say no, that this is not the world I want to live in, that this isn't the world I want my kids to live in. And unless they have to pay, I don't care who gets rich, unless they pay, the world's not going to change.
Cigarette companies make it hard by engineering their cigarettes deliberately to be hard to stop.
The tobacco companies wanted her to admit that she was going to die soon.
There's a chance that our client may not make it to the courtroom.
She wanted to make a difference in this world, and the case still mattered to her. And the only way she could make a difference in this world is through this verdict.